Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another YouTube video. As you can probably tell, this is not your usual workout video. Today we are just going to be doing a quick Q&A because it's something I've been wanting to do for a while. Not to fear though, we do have a leg workout dropping tomorrow, so that's going to be sick. Watch out for that. First leg day up on the channel, and I got some good ideas coming up for the next couple weeks after that. So anyway, let's just jump right into it. So I'm going to start off with my Instagram questions, and then I got a few more questions on Snapchat. So if you asked your question on Instagram, then here it is. So the first question, which isn't really a question, it was more like a statement. Somebody just wrote, best gym partner. Thanks, man. That's actually my brother. You're an awesome gym partner too. Moving on to the next question. So the question here says, how long have me and my fiance been together and how did we meet? So my fiance and I actually met on a platform called Bumble. So it's like a dating app like Tinder, only it's more used for actual dating. At the time, and I'm sure it still works like this, and this is what makes Bumble unique, is that the female has to message first. So Taylor kind of made a play on my bio that said something about how I like to do dinner dates, because I feel like a lot of people in today's age don't really do regular dates anymore. You know, you kind of just hang out at people's house or whatever. So I wrote that in my bio that I still believe in dinner dates, and it was around the time of like COVID, so most restaurants and stuff were closed, but patios had just reopened. And so she just wrote back saying like, hey, I also still believe in dinner dates, especially the patio ones. So then I just asked her to pick a patio or if she knew any good ones. And we actually didn't talk at all. Like once or twice when we were trying to plan a date for the patio, but I didn't want to waste too much time like, you know, texting and talking to her. I'd rather just get to do that like on the date, because I feel like it gives us more to talk about and you don't really have to be nervous because you can ask those basic questions for the first time while you're on the date, which just makes it a little easier and more comfortable for everybody. It went super, super well. Too well, actually, that we actually were asked to leave by Jack Astor's because we were taking up the table for way too long and there were way too many people that were waiting to get a table. So we were actually asked to leave. It's a good story, and yeah, we just hit it off right away. So we've been together 3 years. This summer, so in a couple months we would have been together 3 years. We've been engaged for 1.5 years, and we are getting married in November. All right, so we're gonna move on to the next question. My next question is, do a video of your pets. I'm guessing that means that you just want a YouTube video about my pets. I'm not gonna lie, I don't really know how to make a YouTube video about my pets because they're just two little cats, and well, they don't do a whole lot, obviously. So they're not like a dog or something like that. Cats don't really know many cool tricks. But for those of you who do want to see my two pets, I have two cats. Here's a video and a couple pictures of them on the screen.
Say hi to Daddy. You miss him? Yeah. Yeah. Beanie. Say hi to Daddy. Do you miss him? Yeah. What's going on? Where is he? I know.
All right, guys, so those questions were kind of un-gym related, but now we're gonna move into the more gym related questions. So the first question we got that's gym related is, how do you get shredded and defined abs? Honestly, it's going to be different for everybody because not everybody has the same genetics and everybody is just simply different. I think on average, it's a basic principle that abs are made in the kitchen. You've heard this 100 times, and that's just simply because it is the truth. There are people, myself included, and even people like David Lade, who have never trained abs or only trained abs very, very little, like when they were younger. You know, it really does come down to your diet at the end of the day. Mostly you do need to be in a calorie deficit. You don't absolutely have to be. You couldn't be at a maintaining level. Some people could be at a bulking level, but you really have to balance out your fats and your carbs and your protein intake. And it's, like I said, it's different for everybody, so there's no really exact answer to this. My advice would be meet with a nutritionist or buy the program plan, and depending on your goals, maybe we can help you get there. And I can recommend based on, you know, your height, your weight, and how active you are and stuff like that. We can find your maintenance calories, or by using special calculators online, and we can bring you into a deficit. That I think that's usually the best place to start, and that's most often what people need to do, because they are something called skinny fat, or they're just a little bit fatter in the area where your abs are. Like some people tend to hold more fat in their abdominal area. Not everybody, but some people do, because everybody holds fat differently. So you're not necessarily fat if you don't have abs or something like that. And the key is just to uncovering your abs, because as you know, everybody has abs. Everybody has the same abdominal structure. Well, not the same. Some people can only get a 4-pack. Some people can get a 6-pack. And there's genetic monsters out there who can even get like a 10-pack. So it's really different. It depends on your body type. It depends on your genetics. At the end of the day though, you do have to get rid of the layer of fat that is covering your abdominal muscles. Once you do that, you'll be able to see your abs. And of course, you can help define them as well by actually training them. There's many, many different ways to train them. And that's why people who eat at maintenance, or even people who are eating a little bit above maintenance in a surplus, you can still see their abs, because their abs are very dominant and very defined. And you can get that by training abs, but it's not always necessary. Like I said, it really does come down to your diet and what you're eating in the kitchen. All right, guys, moving on to the next question here. We got the question, what do you want to accomplish by the end of this year? So my first answer right off the bat is I want to be able to bench press 225 by the end of the year. I'm really, really hoping I can get this by the end of the summer, like in 3 or 4 months. I think that's a reasonably obtainable goal, since I am currently bench pressing 195 for 1, and I would say very close to being on the brink to 200 or 205. And I think in 3 or 4 months, I should be able to hopefully get to 225. However, with that being said, I am gonna have some obstacles in my way. So as you guys know, that I'm not the biggest guy ever, and I would love to be on a bulk right now and be eating in a surplus. However, due to the fact that I'm getting married in November and I have a destination wedding, I just don't want to compromise any type of body fat percentage. And if anything, I want to go down a couple percentage to do exactly what I just talked about in the last question, which was I want to get my abs to be a little more dominant, and I want to reveal my abs a little bit more, as well as shaping them up a little bit more. So to do that, it's going to be extremely hard if I'm eating in a surplus or going into a straight bulk. And I think that's going to hinder my progress for hitting 225. But nonetheless, I would say that is my main goal of the year. All right, guys, so the next question we got is a little similar. So the question is, do I have any other gym goals than bench pressing 225? I would say definitely yeah. So obviously, like by the time the wedding comes up, I would like to have my abs fully revealed. I'm doing pretty good right now, but I still have a lot of progress to make. So that's definitely a goal of mine. And then when I get back from my wedding and from my honeymoon, I still have like a whole month before the year is over. And I want to take that month to start bulking. So I guess my goal would be to reveal my abs for the wedding, obviously bench 225, and start the bulk before the year's over. I would say those are my 3 main goals. Now, I don't know if these are quite goals of mine for this year, but the more I'm consistent in the gym, the more I think I want it. And so the other 2 goals that I think I might start to work towards, or I'm going to start working towards, other than my bench press, is I think I do want to get up to like a 315 deadlift. Now, I think this is super easy because I can currently do 225 for 6 reps when it comes to deadlift. and that's without straps. So with straps and with a little bit of more of doing deadlift consistently, I think that I can get up to 315 quite easily. And that's not something I'm too worried about. So you know what, I am gonna say that is a goal of mine. Lastly is, I don't know, I think to squat 225, everybody's legs are arguably the most powerful muscle in your body. And even though it doesn't seem like that, if you don't train your legs, I think it's still an argument to be made. So even though I'm currently only squatting like 105 pounds, I believe, that's also with absolute perfect like range of motion, which is something I've been really working on. I'm trying to get better in my hip flexibility and stuff like that. So I think if I was to go for a PR and I was to at least go parallel or 90 degrees instead of getting full range of motion and going that little bit lower, you know, ass to grass, as they say, I think I could probably push a plate. I know how I've done that in the past. So I think that 225 for squat could also come relatively fast, but we'll see what happens with that. I don't really want to put my focus there. Obviously, I want to put most of my focus on my bench press. And like I said, right now, my goals as far as it goes to training legs is I'm trying to really improve my hip flexibility and overall just be more consistent with my legs, because just like everybody else, I'll go to the gym on a leg day and I'll see a bench press and it's no longer a leg day, you know? So we're really working on actually making sure that we're hitting our legs every week. And so far I've hit them consistently for, I think a month, and I haven't skipped any for a while. So leg days are going strong and we'll see what happens. All right guys, so the next question up here is, what training style do I prefer? Do I prefer more of a hypertrophy or hypertrophy? I don't really know exactly how to say it. Training style, or do I prefer a strength training style? So honestly, I'm gonna have to go with the first option here. I like training for hypertrophy just because I feel like I always wanted to be like aesthetic when I first started training. I like watched that David Lade video back in the day, not even on YouTube originally. I saw it on Facebook when I was like, I don't know, like 15, 16 years old, you know? And David Lade is really just known for being really lean, like he's super lean. And I always thought that was really appealing, that was really attractive to the, you know, like the standard bodybuilding type physique when it comes to people like Sebum. I just like a leaner, more aesthetic looking physique. Not that Sebum isn't aesthetic. Obviously when he preps for his shows and he's on stage, he looks absolutely insane and he's super aesthetic. But I just like a slimmer, leaner build overall in general. So I would say that style kind of just suits me a little better. However, with that being said, I'm going through my stages now where like I want to get PRs, I want to be strong, I want to be bigger, and that's why I want to start bulking as soon as I can. And definitely, like I said, get started on it before the year ends, because I just want to hit some nice PRs, man. A lot of my friends have been getting into lifting now, and a lot of them are the same spot as me now, or very, very close to it. In some exercises, they're even above me, man. So that gives me motivation, and that makes me want to be even stronger. And given that I want to go for some PRs, I obviously have to do strength training to do that. Because it's just unrealistic to continuously do like 4 sets of 10 to 12 reps over and over. You hit plateaus fairly easily training like that, and that's where strength training comes into play. So you definitely have to find a balance, and we're gonna talk about my split in just a second here, but you guys will see that I have at least one strength day for my chest and my tricep, and one hypertrophy day for it as well. So that's something I'm experimenting with, because I need to implement more strength training into my routines. So with that being said, I overall, like I said, I do prefer hypertrophy just because I prefer to be a little smaller, a little leaner. However, strength training is definitely necessary depending on what your goals are. All right, guys, so we're at the final question here, and the final question that I got was, what's the current split? So as you guys know, I released my workout plans in my ebook, link down in the description. And my current workout split is not on there. Now, I have followed some of those plans that are included in the package, but when I released those plans, I also wanted to start from scratch and build my own plan 100%. So right now, I'm not doing anything conventional. I'm not necessarily doing a bro split. I'm not necessarily doing a push-pull legs. I would say I'm more closer to a push-pull leg split than a bro split. And the best way for me to explain it, I guess, is just like this. So in a push-pull leg split, you typically train chest, tries, shoulders, back, buys, shoulders, legs, and then you repeat that. So for me, I'm doing chest, tries, back, buys, and legs, but I'm just not putting in the shoulder work. And then when I go to repeat it, I repeat the chest and try day, still no shoulders, but then instead of doing back, bi, and shoulders, like you would in a push-pull legs, I repeat bicep, but I don't repeat back, and this is where I get all my shoulder work in. And then I obviously don't hit legs twice a week, and this is where it's sort of like a bro split because I do take 2 rest days a week. It just works with my schedule better, and I like going 5 days a week. It just seems to be what works best for me. So that's the current split. I'm gonna put it on screen right now. And yeah, this is the split. So as you guys can see, chest and tricep, this is how I start off my week. And this day is a strength training day. I would have just come back after resting on the weekend. And so this is when my muscles are not fatigued. They've gotten the rest they needed. And I just have to put emphasis on how much I can lift. These are the days where I would go for a PR attempt. This is my strength training chest and tricep day. Then I go on to my back day where I train strictly hypertrophy. If I'm saying that right again, hopefully I am. And then of course we go into the leg day, and the leg day is kind of a mix. So when I'm doing my compound lifts on my leg day, I train them in a strength training style. But then when I'm training things like leg extension or calf raises, then I go into a hypertrophy style. So it's a little bit of a mix. And then when we go back to our chest and tricep, now remember on Monday or on the start of the week on day 1, like I said, that's a strength training day for my chest and tricep. So the second time I hit it, it's the opposite. It's a hypertrophy training like chest day. So instead of going for like 4 sets of 8 or like 3 sets of 8 in a set of 6 or something like that, I'm going way higher volume, and I'm doing like 3 sets of 12 or maybe even 3 sets of 15 if the weight's moving nice. You know, it's a lot higher volume, and I'm just changing it up a little bit since I previously trained my chest and triceps for strength earlier on in the week. Then of course we go on to our shoulders and bicep. This is also a hypertrophy day. I guess it can be argued that my first or even second shoulder exercise, depending if I'm doing seated dumbbell raise or standing barbell raises, whatever you want to call it. It could be argued as strength training depending on how heavy I'm going, but I would say overall, again, it is still hypertrophy. So that is my current training split. I want to thank you for the few people who did send in questions. I know we didn't have a whole lot, but I'm glad to know that you guys are interested in just kind of what's going on, what my goals are, what my split is. So we're gonna do lots more of these in the future as we continue to grow, and hopefully the questions come in and they continue to come in. So I want to thank you guys again for the support. Thank you so much if you sent in a question. I really do appreciate it, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for a leg workout. Peace.